Mob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. For listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok.
Hello and welcome to this Club World Cup action. Capable of securing their ticket to the Club World Cup knockout rounds with a game to spare, Manchester City battle the United Arab Emirates powerhouses Al Ain at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium here in Atlanta. Pep Guardiola's men enjoyed a largely stress-free opening to the competition in a 2-0 success over Wydad Casablanca, whilst their Middle Eastern foes were slaughtered by a merciless Juventus. The less said about Phil Foden's domestic decline in 2024-25 season, the better, but the former PFA Player of the Year winner lit up the Lincoln Financial Field Stadium to inspire Manchester City to victory over Morocco's Wydad in fixture number 1. Foden's smart left-footed strike, just 2 minutes on the board, propelled the Sky Blues into an early advantage before the England international turned provider for Jeremy Doku to fire home from a corner towards the end of the first 45. The only blot on Pep Guardiola's notebook was a late red card to Rico Lewis, a decision that left the Catalan coach seething. That was a minor blemish on an otherwise comfortable afternoon's work for Manchester City. Thanks to Bayern Munich's 10-0 annihilation of Auckland, City Al Ain was spared the humiliation of suffering the heaviest defeat of the Club World Cup Matchday 1, although that statistic would have been a little consolation at the end of a battering against the Old Lady. Juventus' 5-goal rout was complete by the hour mark in Washington DC as Randall Kolo Muani and Francisco Conceição both helped themselves to braces, whilst Turkish talent Kenan Yildiz scored the pick of the bunch with a sumptuous long-range strike in off the post. So we will bring you the starting lineups, but we have just got underway with Al Ain in a turquoise kit, Manchester City wearing their away strip for the first time, an all-white strip, white tops, white shorts, white socks. Al Ain in an all turquoise top, so we are out to the right hand side. Out to Matthias Nunes. We'll go back to Daniel Kanji. Kanji with it. We'll move back out to his right side with Kusanov. It already looks like he is potentially playing as the right fullback in this system for Manchester City. So he's got the ball inside their own half. Nico Gonzalez, who's dropped in to get on the ball. He will knock it forward. Goes out to the right-hand side, and Bernardo Silva he tried to play the ball forward. It was knocked out by Zabala and out for a throw for them. It's Ryan Aït-Nouri with the ball. Aït-Nouri will knock it back to Manuel Akanji. Akanji will move it into the opposition half now with Kusanov. Manchester City on the ball with number 27, Nunes, Matheus Nunes, who's playing in his more favoured central midfield role today. This ball will go forward, all the way forward towards Echeverri, who will go chasing. He made his debut in the FA Cup final, actually, did Claudio Echeverri. A decent impression when he came off the bench, and what was an eventual loss to Crystal Palace as they lost the FA Cup title to them. Guardiola is out of his dugout shouting out instructions in a smart white top. Too dissimilar to the away strip that Manchester City are playing. As a long ball goes forward, I think he's in an offside position, is Rahimi, but the goalkeeper is out. Stefano Tegi gets there, and then eventually the assistant referee raises his flag. So we'll bring you starter lineups for the two teams. So for Manchester City, in goal for them is Stefan Ortega, who comes in for Ederson, who started the last game. The four defenders will see Kusanov, Manuel Akanji, Oscar Gvardiol and Ryan Aït-Nouri playing across the back four, whilst Nico Gonzalez will play in a lone pivot. We expect Matheus Nunes and Ilkay Gundogan to play in central midfield with Bernardo Silva and Claudio Echeverri playing as the two wide men. Erling Haaland is leading the line for Pep Guardiola's side. That's after coming off the bench in their last game, a 2-0 win against Wydad. It is Man City coming forward, but ball just comes off the hand of Bernardo Silva, I believe it is, the captain tonight for Manchester City. It's his first appearance of this competition for him. For Al Ain, there's a change in goal. Rui Patricio, who you'll know from his time at Atalanta and Wolverhampton Wanderers, he is replaced. And the captain, Khalid Issa, comes in to start. On the back five, the three central defenders will see Amadou Niang, Young Woo Park and Rami Rabia, whilst it'll be Facundo Sabala and Adis Yasic plays the two wing-backs. The two central midfielders are Abdul Traore and Yahir Nader, whilst Mohamed Abbas Al Nissam Chadli will play as the two wide men with Sufyan Rahimi in the only player leading the line. So it does come into the aforementioned Rahimi. 29-year-old is able to turn and move it out to the left-hand side to Abbas. There's just a foul given to Manchester City. I think it's Abdul Kusanov who's fouled, the 21-year-old who joined in the winter as he came in from Lens in France. There has been plenty of changes in that Manchester City side as Guardiola's looked to keep it fresh. Maybe slight disappointment that Phil Foden isn't playing today. Many have actually retained their place from the last game. They've got such a big squad that Pep Guardiola has spoken about that he's wanting to reduce the size of his squad. Ball's out on the right-hand side, and Nada will pick it up. He will send it forward up towards Chadley. Chadley's unable to bring it down under his control, and it will fizzle out for a Manchester City throw, which they can go back to their defenders. Kusanov on the right side. Kusanov will try and knock it back to his goalkeeper, and he is fouled this time by Rahimi, again, who's complaining at the Algerian referee. He said that it wasn't a foul, but there was a shove into the back of him, so you can certainly see why the referee has given it. Goes out to the central defenders now. It's Josko Gvardiol with it. He will play it inside to Ilkay Gundogan. He'll switch out to Kusanov. He'll go all the way back to Stefan Ortega. Ortega can get the ball out of his feet. He will knock it forward out to the left-hand side. There is the Algerian Rayan Ait Nouri up against Jasic. He gets fouled, but he jumps back up to his feet to his credit. He then delivers the ball in. A shot comes in from the edge of the box from Claudio Echeverri, and it takes a deflection of an El Ain defender, and it'll be a corner inside the first 8 minutes here for the citizens. So the ball will be delivered in by the captain, Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva is prepared to deliver the ball in. It is once again an packed out 18-yard box. I've got a new set-piece coach, James French, who used to work out at Liverpool, as Manchester City can pick up the ball out on the left side. It is dinked to the far post by Ilkay Gundogan, and it's ended up going into the back of the net. And it's an opener for Manchester City here. And it's the German Ilkay Gundogan who has opened the scoring for Manchester City. And it only took them 3 minutes to open the scoring against Wydad Casablanca of Morocco. Well, now it is Ilkay Gundogan. It's taken them 8 minutes for them to break the deadlock against Al Ain of the United Arab Emirates. And it's 1-0 to Manchester City. I'm not sure it was a shot. I think Gundogan was just trying to hang it up towards the far post where Erling Haaland was attacking it. But Gundogan with the goal, with the opener here, the former Barcelona and Borussia Dortmund midfielder. And it's Ilkay Gundogan who has broken the deadlock. It's a nightmare start for Vladimir Ivic, but as it stands, Manchester City will be joining Juventus in promotion out of this group. So Ilkay Gundogan with a delightful dink to give them the opener. So now it's Manchester City back with it. Move it back to Kusanov. Kusanov will go back to Rayan Ait Nouri. Nouri will drop it into Nico Gonzalez. Gonzalez stepping up with it now. Goes out to the right side with Matheus Nunes. Nunes thought about playing it down the line, but he will run back with it to his credit, holding on to it still. There's already been 3 games today in the Club World Cup. Juventus ran out 4-1 winners against Wydad Casablanca, which Wydad actually had more shots on target and played pretty well in that game, but Juventus were just clinical. It's got a similar story as Real Madrid beat Pachuca 3-1. Of course, Real Madrid were down to 10 men in that game, but Pachuca had 11 shots on target. Real Madrid scored with all 3 shots on target. It was the Mexicans, Pachuca, who gave them a really good game. And then in the other result, it was Salzburg and Al Hilal who played out a 0-0 draw as the points were shared. Neither side could break through the deadlock, so Salzburg at the moment will be going through with Real Madrid, but Al Hilal, of course, have got Pachuca in their last group game. So it's quite a tough group, that one. So it's Al Ain going down the right-hand side. Al Ain with it. Back to the left side, and the ball will be sent forward, but it goes out to play. And Manuel Akanji will throw it back to Josko Gavardiol. To the left side with Orion Nori. Nori back to Akanji. Akanji will play it inside to Nico Gonzalez. Here's Claudio Echeverri running back with the ball, and he is caught. This time by Niang. Niang committing the foul. Manchester City can quickly take the free kick. And now they will get moving with it. Mateus Nunes will try and deliver the ball in. He does deliver the ball in, but isn't able to find Erling Haaland in the middle, and now it's for Al Ain, Nissan Chadli, who will surge forward. He pulls the ball across, goes all the way across the 6-yard box, but wasn't worrying the Manchester City team. That is showing the transition threat that Al Ali have. The ball will go back to Zabala. Zabala to Traore. Abdul Traore. Guinea central defender. Plays it forward. It's picked up well by Nissan Chadli, who's only part of the play. He's on loan actually from another Club World Cup team, Wydad Casablanca. Interested to see if he's allowed to play. I assume he will be. Then Al Ain meet Wydad. So stepping forward with it out of defence is Josko Gavardiol. Gavardiol will give it to Manuel Akanji. Manuel Akanji with it. Out to the right side with Kusanov. Kusanov on the ball, but he loses it. And now it's an opportunity for Al Ain. It's slotted in behind. It's Nissan Chadli who gets a shot away. That's a really good save by Stefan Ortega, diving to his right side. And he gets a round of applause for his manager, Vladimir Ivic. And that is a really good stop from Ortega, who didn't start the first game, but Guardiola clearly wanting to rotate between him and Edison, but that was an excellent opportunity. Nassim Chadli in behind, got his shot away. It's a really good stop. Quarter of an hour in now for Al Ain. The ball will be delivered in. It's headed away by Kusanov. Comes to the edge of the box. It's Park who will dink it forward. Now Manchester City can break forward. The referee will play a good advantage. Actually, Bernardo Silva goes back to the goalkeeper, Stefan Ortega. The referee will just stop it because there is a Manchester City player down injured. Just seems to be a little bit uncomfortable for, I think, his Claudio Echeverri, the 19-year-old. Came from Argentinian side, River Plate. Just dragged to the ground by Rami Rabia. The medical staff are onto the pitch now to come and have a look at Etcheverry, but they will certainly be hoping that everything is okay with him. They don't have to have too much concern. Guardiola's now sat back down into his chair with his head in his hands. He'll be a little bit worried about the seriousness for this one for Etcheverry. And Lukai Gundogan certainly looked pretty surprised and shocked that didn't end up, or that they did end up in the back of the net, I should say. As he dinked it to the far post. And there's a couple of substitutes down there. Omar Marmoush and Phil Foden are warming up, perhaps ready to come on. Looks like Etcheverry is back up to his feet. Gets a round of applause from the supporters as he makes his way over there. There's a bit of concern from the City supporters, but they will be hoping that everything is alright here with Etcheverry, and it's a bit too concerning. He goes on a little jog as he's off the pitch now. And that should indicate that I imagine he will be okay. This is just really precaution. Ball goes out to the left side. And it comes forward, touched by the captain. Down to the right side, Kanji to Kusanov. There's Mateus Nunes. Manchester City moving out to the left side now. Moving it well to their credit, Etcheverry. Moves it back in to the middle of the pitch. Goes out to Mateus Nunes. Thought about taking on Zabala, Facundo Zabala. He's currently on loan from Olympia. Manchester City just patient on the ball. Comes back out to the former Wolves midfielder, Mateus Nunes. And then eventually go back to Nico Gonzalez. Gonzalez will play a 1-2 with Bernardo Silva. And now Akanji to Kusanov. Kusanov back out to Nunes. Nunes has been playing at right fullback. Doesn't look like he's going to play as a right midfielder for this game. It's back with the former Lens defender, Kusanov. Played inside to Nico Gonzalez. Bernardo Silva with the ball on the right side. Tries to stand up Traore. Turns back onto himself. The ball will be delivered in and headed away by Rami Rabia. Good defending by him. Ball goes back to the goalkeeper, Stefan Ortega. Kusanov. Kusanov will switch out to the left side. It's Ryan Nori. Nori will come back. Etcheverry with it. Kanji on the right side, and then it's Zabala who's got in and tackle. Really good. Nori will cross it in. It's blocked off out on the right side. Gonzalez with it. The referee has spotted a foul. Will blow his whistle. It's Claudio Echeverri. Goes down again. He's in a little bit of discomfort down there. Just roll on his sock. Looks like he will likely be okay. Going to be a free kick on the left side. It'll be hung up. It's aimed towards Kusanov, who jumped highest to get there, but it eventually goes out for Al Ain throw. It's all the way back to Rabia. Rabia to Niang, to Zabala. Zabala will send it forward. Goes back to Stefan Ortega. Ortega with it. Goes back to Gavardio to Aitnoy. It's a real slow tempo about the game at the moment. It looks like Gundogan controls it and he is barged from behind. So it looks like that's a foul. Akanji then has to dive in and last ditch intervention. Ball goes back to Rabia. Rabia out to the right-hand side with Niang. It is Niang who will knock it forward, but controlled, and then Manchester City can move the ball back to Stefan Ortega. So Ortega with it. He will play it out short to Joskel Gvardiol. And they will get the ball moving once again. As I was just saying, there's quite a slow tempo about the game. Manchester City dictating the tempo, but really taking the time. They don't seem to be in any sort of urgent need to get the ball forward and play at a higher tempo. It's out to the right-hand side now with Bernardo Silva. Silva will give it to Mateus Nunes. Nunes can race forward. He will deliver the ball in, but it's not a good delivery. Now, he's just about kept in play on the left side. There is Ryan Aitnouri running inside the 18-yard box. Really good feet. He goes down. I think he just naturally slips rather than anything, because to his credit, the Algerian gets straight back up onto his feet and wasn't complaining to anyone. It's a pretty direct run by Ryan Aitnouri. Obviously, we'll be looking to impress Pep Guardiola. The ball goes back, and the goalkeeper, Khalid Issa, will send it forward, the 35-year-old. A little bit of a surprise that he's replaced the ever-experienced Rui Patricio in the Al Ain goal. Manchester City, it looks like they, whatever the score is, that they're probably going to have to beat Juventus in the final game to finish top of the group, because they have got such good goal difference at the moment with a +8. Manchester City, of course, only beat Wydad 2-0, 1-0 up here. Juventus were 2-0 up at this point, 4-0 up at half-time, and eventually won the game 5-0. So the ball goes forward, and it's all the way forward towards Mateus Nunes, and Zabala's made the foul on the edge of the box. It's our first yellow card of the game. And it is Facundo Zabala, the Argentinian. A really good run by Mateus Nunes. And Zabala's just barged him in the back, and he knows what he's doing there. It's a little bit clumsy. And it's a free kick for Manchester City. It's only the second game of the post-Kevin De Bruyne era. We'll see who's going to step up to take this Free kick now for the citizens. It's the four-man wall assembled by Al Ain. Goalkeeper Issa just trying to organise them now, bossing them about. Waiting for the free kick to come in. It's Claudio Echeverry's one of the men that stood over it. So is Bernardo Silva. It's now a five-man wall. One of the players that stood right next to it. It's going to be left for Echeverry. He'll take it, and what a goal that is. And Claudio Echeverry, take a bow, because that is an outstanding finish. Spiralling into the top corner. And it's the Argentinian who is left. Khalid Issa left rooted to the spot. And Claudio Echeverry with his first goal for Manchester City. He's beaten the wall. He's sent it into the top corner. No chance for the goalkeeper in all black. And Claudio Echeverry, the ball was always dipping underneath the crossbar, and that really is a slice of quality from the 19-year-old. And the man who joined for only £12 million, perhaps proving that you don't need to go and spend ludicrous amounts of money, because there are real hidden gems out in the South American leagues. And all of a sudden, Manchester City have got the ball. Al Ain have given it away. It's Erling Haaland in behind. He tries to dink it towards Bernardo Silva, and somehow it's gone out for a goal kick. But I tell you what, you'd have put your mortgage on Manchester City going 3 goals there. Pep Guardiola looks incredibly frustrated. Erling Haaland just intercepting the ball off. And then he had an open goal, but instead of shooting, he's trying to be a little bit too selfless, and he's dinked it to Bernardo Silva. He's not fouled Bernardo Silva, and Manchester City remain 2 goals ahead. And a little bit surprised there, because I think you may just expect Erling Haaland to be a bit more selfless. A bit more selfish, shall I say, where in that situation he could have been selfish, where he was actually really selfless, and Haaland not making the most of it there, because he should have really put them 3 goals up. And now the ball will go forward. Manchester City with a long ball forward, but it's goalkeeper Khalid Issa. And he comes out and claims it, and then he will send the long ball forward, and it's Stefan Ortega is out of his goal and heads it out. And the ball goes to the right side with Niang. Amadou Niang. Senegalese centre-back will send it forward, and they give it away, and it goes out for a throw. And they've just not got going. They've not been able to deal with the quality of Manchester City at the moment. Vladimir Ivic, who's already the 3rd manager of the season for Al Ain, is sat back into his chair. He doesn't look happy. He's a very experienced manager who has done well in pretty much every job he's been at. He started his managerial career with PAOK's under-20s before he had 1 year in charge of the Greek side, the first team squad of course. He then moved out to Israel to manage Maccabi Tel Aviv for 2 years. Richie won the Israel Premier League for 2 years on the bounce. He then spent 22 games in charge of Watford in the Championship in 2020 before he was eventually sacked. And he was eventually returned to Maccabi Tel Aviv before taking up the job at Krasnodar in Russia. And he is now in his 15th game in charge of the UAE side Al Ain. Won the Greek Cup in 2016-17 season with PAOK, and also won the Greek Under-19 Championship in the 2013-14 season. But with the way that Al Ain are going here, I'm not sure he's going to last too much longer in a job, because you know how ruthless their owners can be, and we would have expected them to compete a little bit more. So it's corner for Manchester City. The ball comes in, it's attacked well, and it hits the post. 32 minutes in, I think it was Erling Haaland again. Manchester City clearly hungry for more. And has it come off Erling Haaland, or has it come off Joško Gvardiol? I can't really tell from the angle we've seen there, but just the header went into the ground and then slammed off the post. But Manchester City clearly hungry for more goals in this game. So it's Ryan Nori with the ball. He's now going to come down the left-hand side. He will try and take on Jasic. Then play it centrally into Nico Gonzalez, who gives it away, and Al Ain will now try and hit Manchester City on the counter-attack. Ball will be switched out to the left side, but Stefan Ortega is out of his goal and deals with it. It is good goalkeeping by him. He comes out and he's brave, is Stefan Ortega. He does really well to come out, and just been caught by Nissam Chadli. It's the left leg of Chadli catched him. Ball will come out to the right side. It's Manuel Akanji. Akanji will go back to Stefan Ortega. Ortega with it will put a long ball forward. Goes out to the left side. Ryan Nori will go back to Joško Gvardiol. Manchester City can be so slow in possession at times, really taking their time. Ball now comes out to the right side with Mateus Nunes. Nunes is able to turn and find Bernardo Silva, the Manchester City captain. Ball will be played forward, and it does go out of play. That's going to be an Al Ain throw-in, which will go back to Traore. Traore will move out to the left side with Rabia, and then Zabala, the only man on the yellow card, will send a long ball forward, and again it is Stefan Ortega out of his goal to head it. It's Ilkay Gundogan who will come forward now for Manchester City. Up to the left side to Claudio Echeverri, and it's Niang who just goes into the back of him. Foul is given against the side in turquoise with purple trimmings. Claudio Echeverri is really wanting to stake a claim. Here is Manchester City back on the ball. It's Kusanov. He'll give it to Kanji. Kanji can step into the Al Ain half. He'll to the left side to Joško Gvardiol. Gvardiol out to the left side now with Ryan Nori. Nori move it out to the right side. Comes forward, and it's Kusanov. Kusanov will give it to Nico Gonzalez. To the left side now with Ryan Nori. Nori will knock it forward, but dealt well with by Rabia, and Al Ain can now potentially break forward. Ball goes down the right side, but there's just a stoppage now because İlkay Gundogan has gone down, holding his stomach. And there certainly looks to be a bit of concern for him here. He's sat down. I don't know if he's just winded. There's also a Al Ain defender who's sat down, so we enter the final 10 minutes of this first half. All of the Al Ain players have been sat off the ball as Manchester City have been quite slow. Al Ain have been quite happy to just sit off and try and frustrate Manchester City, but the medical staff are on now. And they have brought on, it looks like, the magical spray to try and deal with Yahya Nader, who came in for his first start. He played just 22 minutes in the previous game against Juventus, and Yahya Nader is actually a player who came through the youth system at Al Ain. İlkay Gundogan, who was just caught in the stomach and went down. The referee came over to check on Gundogan, and then it was Nader who's gone down with what looks like the more concerning injury. Nadia has now gone off the pitch, so Al Ain are going to have to defend with just 10 men till the referee eventually allows him back on. He does have allow him back on, so we don't have the 30-second rule that we see in Europe and in the English Premier League. So the ball comes out to the right side with Matheus Nunes. Manchester City with it. Looking around for where to play it, and just come to Manuel Akanji. Akanji to Matheus Nunes. Nunes will go back to Kusanov. Kusanov will play it out to the left side. Well, at the moment are Manchester City. Surging forward is Bernardo Silva. Will try and switch it to the left side. And it comes into a central position. Gonzalez will hang it up, and Matheus Nunes will try and touch it down. He does eventually touch it down. Nunes will go back to Gonzalez. Manchester City once again taking their time. On the right side. Into a central position, 20 yards out. It's Nico Gonzalez out to the Algerian, Rain Aït-Nouri. Aït-Nouri will go back to Gonzalez, but it's a good strong challenge that goes in, and potential counter-attacking opportunity for Al Ain, but really good defensive work by İlkay Gundogan getting in and getting a crucial touch on the ball. Now it's Bernardo Silva. Give it to Matheus Nunes. Nunes with it, and he is fouled, although I think he eventually is deemed to have fouled Abbas. Almost playing with the back five off the ball or Al Ain. The midfield three, Park, Abbas and Nadir, so deep off the ball. You just saw it there. One of the deepest players was the midfielder, Mohamed Abbas Al-Balouchi. He's a local lad. It's Raheem Rabia. He's going to send a long ball forward. It's cleared away, and then Bernardo Silva will try and bring it down. Al Ain can switch now to the right side, which it'll be a long ball forward and touched down by Rain Aït-Nouri. Aït-Nouri will come inside to Nico Gonzalez. İlkay Gundogan. Here is Erling Haaland breaking forward. Erling Haaland just puts it past the post. And that is the chance that he was hoping for. He created it himself, did Erling Haaland. quickly turned a slow and laboured move into a real attacking, direct piece of play, and it's excellent link-up play with the captain, Bernardo Silva, who gave it into Haaland, and Haaland sent the ball just whiskers past the post in the final 5 minutes of this first half. They have had their chances of Manchester City to extend this lead. The ball goes forward towards Rahimi with it. We'll move it out to the left side to Zabala, and then he is fouled by Mateus Nunes, and the Algerian referee will give it. The ball will go back to Khalid Issa. Issa will give it to Niang. Amadou Niang knocks it off Claudio Echeverri. Goes into the stands, and there's a supporter in there for Manchester City top, a young girl that has kept hold of the ball, and she said, "I'm not giving that one back." I'll say fair play to her. So it's Kusanov with it. Kusanov will go back to Manuel Akanji, and now Manchester City can build up from deep again. There's Kusanov. Kusanov back to Akanji. Goes out to the left side. Josko Gavardo. Ball forward and touched down by Ilkay Gundogan. Ilkay Gundogan will take his time. We'll go back to Manuel Akanji, who will again step in the Al Ain half. But now there is another player sat down. This time it's number 70, Abdul Traore, who is led down, and this is off the ball, so there's a bit of worry here. Just taking a ball to the midsection, perhaps. Vladimir Ivic is pointing to that. He's back up to his feet quite quickly, so the medical staff didn't need to come on. Manchester City have completed 305 passes. Al Ain have completed just the 77. Still taking their time out on the ball. It comes out to the right side, and it's Abbas who's there. Abbas El Balouchi just boots the ball away. Manchester City just don't need to force it. Goes forward, and it's Ilkay Gundogan who will try and get there, but he overruns it now. Coming forward is Traore. Traore will break forward. And Traore is brought down. He's held back up onto his feet, and Al Ain will now come forward. The ball is switched to the right side. That's good defending by Rayan Aït-Nouri. He's able to just, with a bicycle kick, just send it out of play. And the final minute now before we find out how much additional time we've got. The ball will go back to Rabia. Rabia will send the ball forward. Manchester City will pick it up as it's a poor ball forward. Nico Gonzalez, who's conducting it, will move it out to the right full-back, Kusanov. It's back with Gonzalez. Find out how much additional time we've got left this game between Manchester City and Al Ain. We've got 3 additional minutes left to play, so the ball comes down the line. It's Kusanov who will send it in. The right fullback Jasic is there, and he'll let it out of play, and it's going to be a corner for Manchester City. Rayan Aït-Nouri just put the ball in its place, but he's going to go back to defend, I suspect. It's Ilkay Gundogan, who is preparing to deliver. Instead, before the ball can come in, the referee just stopped it to speak to Rabia and Manuel Akanji. The ball will be delivered in. So Gundogan will send it in. Is eventually headed out, and then Al Ain are breaking forward, and it's a cynical challenge that goes in by Ryan Ait-Nouri, and there can be no complaints here. There's a load of Manchester City players who surround the referee and said that there was a foul in the 18-yard box. I think they're saying that Manuel Akanji was chucked to the floor. They're looking for a penalty. They're saying that Rabia committed the foul, but it is Ryan Ait-Nouri who has picked up the yellow card for Manchester City with what looks a pretty cynical challenge from the left full-back. A 24-year-old who has joined this summer from Wolverhampton Wanderers and will really be looking to impress him in 37 appearances for Wolves. And I'll tell you what, the referee is going to go to the VAR screen here. And he is going to check for a possible penalty. So the VAR is advised to look at this. It's for a foul on Manuel Akanji. And when you look at it again, he's grabbing him on the shirt on the back. And then the arm, the hand almost just comes up onto the throat. And he chucks him to the floor. And I don't think he's going to be left with much decision here. It's Rami Rabia. He's not really left him with much choice. He's just chucked Manuel Akanji to the floor. The referee's had a good look at it. We are now going to hear from the Algerian official, but we suspect after on-field review, he said that number 25 has committed the foul, and it will be a penalty. So Manchester City from the spot are going to have an opportunity to score a third. The referee has just announced that Ryan Ait-Nouri's yellow card will not count now, so Ait-Nouri's yellow card has been rescinded. I'm pretty sure he booked someone in there. I'm assuming he's booked Rabia. But it's going to be an opportunity from the spot for Manchester City. Erling Haaland. We can prepare to step up. Erling Haaland, who has scored 4 of his last 6 penalties. So we prepare to see it. It's Erling Haaland, and there's no stopping that. Manchester City 3 goals up, and surely that is game, set, match now before we even reach the second half. And 3 goals to the good of Pep Guardiola's side. It's been an all but simple task for them. And Erling Haaland has sent Issa the wrong way. And the side in all white now lead 3 goals to 0 here. Vladimir Ivic, the Al Ain manager, looks incredibly frustrated with what he's seen. But there's just no stopping that penalty from Erling Haaland, the big Norwegian. And now we're at the half-time break. It's Manchester City 3, Al Ain 0.
Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps, and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps, and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps, and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps, and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps, and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps, and more in-depth info on the match page.
Hello and welcome back to the second half of this game between Manchester City and Al Ain. We come into the second half with Manchester City leading 3-0. Goals from Ilkay Gundogan, Claudio Echeverri and a penalty slotted away by Erling Haaland. It's given Manchester City a commanding 3-goal lead. There are some substitutes to tell you about at half-time. Manchester City make one change, Al Ain make a double change. So going off is Claudio Echeverri for Man City, who scored a wonderful free kick for their second goal. But yes, you can infer that a couple of times that he went down injured. This is more of a fitness change rather than a tactical change. Coming on for him is someone that got the man of the match in their last game, a 2-0 win against Wydad. Phil Foden got 1 goal and 1 assist. Their game, the man that's come through the youth system as Manchester City come forward. It's Ryan Aït-Nouri, a good cross in. Haaland's attacking it. And Man City expected to see a corner, but it's gone out for a goal kick instead. But that was a really dangerous ball across by the left fullback. Really good ball by Aït-Nouri. Just a couple changes to tell you about from Al Ain. So Yahya Nada, who had an injury issue himself, has gone off, and also the lone striker Sufyan Rahimi has gone off for Al Ain. In place for them are number 29, of course, is Kojo Fodolaba, who signed from RS Berkane. He is a Togo international, made 52 appearances for his side, so like-for-like change. Laba is a striker, to bring a bit of experience onto this pitch, and coming on for Yahya Nada is Matthias Palacios as the number 20 shirt. He's an Argentinian. It's a relatively big money signing for Al Ain. He joined them for 2.6 million from Swiss side Basel. Matthias Palacios is on the pitch now. Plenty of changes from Vladimir Ivic as he came into this game. He wanted to see some changes, but I think he will be too pleased with what he saw in that first half. He takes a drink on board there. Doesn't look the happiest of guys down on the touchline at the moment. So Manchester City can move the ball out to the right-hand side. And they are with it. Moving it well. I think the 5 changes did Al Ain going into this game. Changes to the starting lineup. So it's Man City with the ball. Kusnok is very high. He'll come inside to Nico Gonzalez, who will move out to the left side to the Algerian Ryan Aït-Nouri. Back into a central position. Kusnok will send it forward. It's touched down really well by Aït-Nouri. Really good feet shown by him. He sends a right-footed shot. It's blocked off well by Abbas. Inside the 18-yard box, Josko Gavardio will just about keep it in play. it off. 97, the fullback, Adis Jasic. Just 13 minutes in their last game, which was a huge 5-0 defeat to Juventus. It's going to be a corner here for Manchester City, and once again the Algerian referee is going to stop it, try and remind the players that the last time they caused an infringement inside the 18-yard box, it ended up in a penalty. Rami Rabia made the foul, Bernardo Silva's complaining probably that the referee stopped it. It's a foul, just let it happen rather than stopping it. I think will probably be the point that he's making. It's a point that I would make as well, as the ball comes across, it's headed in the air by Traore. Goes out of play for a Manchester City corner. So this time it's Phil Foden, made his way over to take it. He will put the ball down. He will raise his right arm in the air, deliver it in, and the goalkeeper is there and he punches it away. The referee has seen a foul. And has raised was a foul on the goalkeeper, Khalid Issa. That's a goal today. Well, watching from the UK, it's 3 a.m. 10. You'll get a local fan in America watching this game. The ball comes out to the right hand side. You send down the right channel. Just not going to go back to Ortega, but we don't want the man in all orange. Try to switch it to the right side. It's not the greatest hit. It actually is picked up well. And back with Ortega, switch it to this left side. Centrally, big pitch down wide pitch. Nori and Ilkay Gundogan really well there, and then it is Busquets' turn to try and play the ball forward. Normally behind Abbas. Abbas will try and come forward with it. Abbas, but then ends up losing it. And just fouled by Raine Nori. He didn't think he got a card in the first half before it was rescinded. He got to the ball like Nori, so he may feel a little hard done by that the foul was given there. One goes all the way forward. Again, Ortega, who is watching his goal to collect it, will throw it out. So Foden will now step forward with it. Foden down to the right side. A few bodies forward. Bernardo Silva back out to the right by Niang. Touchdown. Booted away by Arabia. All the way forward. Is out of goal is Stefan Ortega. Still with it. On the right side. Back out to the right side. Manchester City slow on the ball at the moment as it moves to the left side. Gonzalez thinking forward towards Ryan Nori. Eventually, Nori tries to get there, but strong challenge. Goes in, it goes out for a goal kick, which ball forward can Issa, all the way forward towards Chadley, who tries to bring it down, but goes the Guardian to block it off. It's back now with Al Ain, who will send the ball back to Issa. Issa will knock the ball forward. Down by Ilkay Gundogan. With it, down to the left side. Go out to Manuel Akanji. He will come inside, go to Josko Guardian. Guardian with it, central position. To the left side, and well are Manchester City at the moment. Relatively sharp with the ball. Central. Manchester City. Ball out to the right hand side now. Candy. Down to Ilkay Gundogan. Gundogan with it. To the right side. Manchester City once again taking their time with it as the ball goes through the legs of a player, and Al Ain can go back to Niang. Goes to Park. Park tries switching to Zabal. It's not the greatest atmosphere inside the stadium today. It's actually going to be a yellow card. Kusnov commits the foul on Rabia. It's also on a yellow card himself. Here. Inside their own half, it's Manuel Akanji, forceful forward. Ilkay Gundogan will think it in behind for Erling Haaland. Ain with it. Rabbit forces the ball forward and goes back to Diang. Diang will knock it down the line, and the ball is clipped out. It's confirmation of Kusnov, the player who's picked up the booking. Manchester City can play the ball into Ilkay Gundogan. Go out to the left side to Ryan Nori. Nori with it. Give it to Ilkay Gundogan. There is Manuel Akanji. Akanji with it to Ryan Nori. Ryan Nori will move it back, and Manchester City still ponderous on the ball. It's out to the right side to a central position. Just dictating the tempo. It's almost like they really want to take this game any further to Al Ain. This game any more difficult, because Al Ain just sat off at the moment, and Man City really relatively slow and ponderous on the ball. The ball does eventually get scooped inside the 18-yard box and is eventually brought down by Mateus Nunes, who gets a shot away and he fires it past the post. It's the first opportunity of this second half. A long ball going forward to Mateus Nunes. Controlled it well in his chest. He headed the ball twice and then met it on the volley. That would have been some goal from Mateus Nunes. What an effort from him. It has just gone past the post. So, we're an hour into the game. This is what we saw in Manchester City's game on Wednesday. Two changes on the hour mark, and it is going to be Nico Gonzalez to come off. And it's a big round of applause because it is the former Ballon d'Or winner who is on, Rodri. Signed all those years ago for 62 million from Atletico Madrid, but even then, I'm not sure Pep Guardiola would have known the importance that Rodri would have had to his side. A lot of their poor campaign this year has been put down to Rodri being out with an ACL injury. So Nico Gonzalez has gone off, and then the other injury has, the other substitute, shall I say, has seen Abdulkadir Kusanov, which has picked up a yellow card, go off, and Oscar Bob. So that could indicate that it's going to be a slight change. Oscar Bob, I imagine, will go and play out wide, and Mateus Nunes will go and play at right fullback. That's what I imagine will happen. We will await official confirmation of that, of course, before jumping to any conclusions. And now there's going to be two further substitutes for Al Ain. To bring you confirmation of who they are. So it's number 10, Alejandro Romero, who is part of the Paraguay national team. Alejandro Romero is one of the players on. He's an attacking midfielder. He did start the last game with the former Al Tawoun midfielder. And the other substitute did see the fullback, Facundo Zabala, go off. Zabala, who also was on a yellow card, and Vladimir Ivic will recognise he won't want this game to get further away from them. So they have subbed on the Brazilian defender, Eric, as Manchester City can come forward. And the ball's sent in behind for Haaland, who's met it. Haaland's got his shot away. It's a good save by Issa, and then he's followed in, and it's come off a defender. Good save by Issa. I think it's a double save, actually, by Khalid Issa. Both down to his left side. As Erling Haaland was played in behind there. He net the ball. And it's two really impressive saves by the man in all black tonight, Khalid Issa. But Manchester City still on the attack. Mateus Nunes. To Oscar Bob on the right side. Just bringing you confirmation of those substitutes, wasn't I? So it was Eric, who is Brazilian, who's on. Bit of a live wire centre-back. He's played for Al Ain now for 5 years since his move from Internacional. He's got 5 assists this campaign in 18 games. He's never featured for the Brazilian national team as Eric. So line for line change. I'm very surprised that Erling Haaland hasn't taken some of the opportunities he's had in open play. Of course, we're doing a disservice to him to not mention the penalty that he scored and slotted away, but he has had a couple bites at the cherry in open play that you usually expect the Norwegian striker to take. But now it's Al Ain who are coming forward. The ball will go across. It's attacked well by Park, but Park sends it behind. We are 20 minutes into this second half. Tiger will quickly take a goal kick and give it to Yoskel Gvardiol. Gvardiol with it. Play a forward ball into Phil Foden. to Manuel Kanji. Kanji out to the right side. Goes to Oscar Bob, who will chase to keep it in play. Does chase, but doesn't get there. It's another player, Oscar Bob, who will be looking to impress his manager this summer in the Club World Cup. So the ball will go all the way back to Niang. Niang with it. We'll give it to Rabia. Al Ain with the ball. Goes back to Khalid Issa. He's made some decent stops tonight. The UAE goal. Now it's Al Ain back with the ball. Manchester City just sat off at the moment, and the ball will go back to the goalkeeper, Issa. Issa will flip it out to the right hand side. Niang. Give it to Park. Park is there. It's Romero who's stretching and gives away the foul. A free kick. Going in late. Ivic once again is out on his touchline, shouting out instructions for his side. So 67 minutes on the clock. All out to the right hand side. It's like the final group games for Manchester City and Juventus will be decided to decide who will finish top of the group, of course, which is important, depending on where you end up on the call. So it's Kanji. Kanji will head out to the left side to Yosko Gavardio. Gavardio with it. Goes forward, but then it's given away by Ryan Aït-Nouri, and Aït-Nouri then commits the foul. I wonder if he's going to this time get booked. Doesn't. Nigerian referee keeps his cards in his pocket. So the ball goes forward to Haaland. There is Gundogan on the edge of the box. Rodri. Rodri gives it away. Now Al Ain can break forward. Ball goes long and Kanji heads it, and it's nowhere near Kojo Fardalaba. The ball will now be dinked to the far side. It's touched down by Oscar Bob. Oscar Bob and Manchester City playing the ball around on the edge of the box, and it's now Jasic, the fullback, will try and take it past Aït-Nouri, but Aït-Nouri's quicker than him. Nutmegs and then gives it to Bernardo Silva. Who is Gundogan. So it's Nunes, gives it away, and now Al Ain can break forward. Out to the right side, opportunity for them, stretching the Manchester City defence inside the box. Opportunity here, shot goes in, and there's a lack of final quality there from Al Ain. He's done absolutely everything right in the build-up, apart from the finish inside the 18-yard box. First time he got in there in this second half, and he has just smashed it over the bar. Pep Guardiola is speaking to his substitutes again, and it's two of his new signings, Johnny Reindeers and Ryan Cherky. We're deep in discussion with Pep Guardiola. Preparing for some reinforcements. of new recruits potentially looking to come on. So ball goes back to Gavardiol. Inside, Gavardiol to Phil Foden. Foden with it, will then go back, and it's Gavardiol again. He will knock it forward. Goes all the way back to the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper will play it short. Goes out to the right side. To the right side to Manchester City. Eric, the Brazilian defender, trying to get close to him. Goes out to Oscar Bob out on the right hand side. Al Ain working hard off the ball as it is switched out to the left side again. Right on the edge of the box, Ryan Ignore gives it to Ilkay Gundogan. Then comes to Joskal Gavardiol, who sends in a left-footed cross. Ball is played back and it's Erling Haaland, another shot on target for that time. It's a comfortable save for Issa to make as Haaland just entered into his hands, and now it will go forward. Joskal Gavardiol, who will boot the ball out. There's Ryan Ignore at Manchester City again, probing, patience on the ball. There is Bernardo Silva, 20 yards out. He just found Ilkay Gundogan. Ilkay Gundogan gets a fourth for Manchester City, and that will wrap up all 3 points if it was ever in doubt, which I don't think it ever was. But it's City who now lead 4-0. It's a comfortable day out for them. And after beating Wydad Casablanca 2-0, they lead 4-0 here with still 20 minutes plus additional time left to play. And it's Ilkay Gundogan who just adjusts himself. It's really nice play. Receives it from Bernardo Silva. And then Gundogan just dinks it over Issa. And it's his second goal of the game for the former Barcelona midfielder. It's a real delicate finish by Ilkay Gundogan, but nonetheless a really good finish from him, and Manchester City lead 4-0 now. We are now going to see those two substitutes come on. So Rayan Cherki, the 21-year-old, who's joined for £31 million from Lyon, is on. We're also going to see Ruben Diaz coming on, replacing Joskal Gavardiol. Good to see Ruben Diaz coming onto the pitch. So it did look like it was going to be Tiana Diaz coming on. He was talking to the manager, and he was deep in discussion, but obviously Pep Guardiola has changed his mind, and they have now completed all of their substitutes, and Ruben Diaz has made his way over to Bernardo Silva and picked up the captain's armband as the 28-year-old who had an inconsistent season in the Premier League in terms of games. He's still a key player for them, but 25 starts, was out injured for 11 of them. 2 of them he came off the bench. The former Benfica centre-back who signed for Man City 5 years ago now for 61 million. He has come on for Joskal Gavardiol. We've been happy today to play in his favoured left full-back position. It was Bernardo Silva who came off for Rayan Cherki. Ryan Cherky, who is perhaps playing in his more favoured position now. And he will be looking to impress after what wasn't was impressive of debuts for him. So here is Phil Foden. He'll go back to Rodri, some sort of super team Manchester City have built here. Really good side. It goes out to the right side with Oscar Bob. Ilkay Gundogan hanging up to the far post. Touchdown by Cherky, then pulls it back to Ait Nouri, gets his shot away, blocked off well by Niang, and then the shot comes in from the edge of the box from Rodri, blocked off again. And bring you confirmation of a substitute that has occurred for Al Ain. We saw a forward player, Nassim Chadli, was the man that came off, the man that's on loan from Wydad. Be interesting to see if he plays against Wydad in what is now a pretty meaningless game. And the man that came on for Al Ain was Matteo Sanabria. Sanabria, who is an Argentinian, 21-year-old. Has made 21 appearances in the UAE Pro League, with only the 9 starts, 3 goals, 2 assists in that time. He joined from Argentinian side Lanús in a $3 million deal last summer. He's not really ever solidified a spot with Al Ain as Matteo Sanabria, but he'll be hoping to make an impression here in the final 15 minutes for what has been a nightmare competition for Al Ain. Lost their last game 5-0 to Juventus. They are now currently 4 goals down against Manchester City here. Ruben Diaz. On to Oscar Bob on the right side. Comes back inside to the right side. Oscar Bob does eventually lose it, and it's carried out by the fullback Eric. It's a long ball forward. It's Cherky. Cherky with it. Nouri. Nouri will turn that round and push centrally into Haaland. Opportunity now. Shot comes in from Ryan Cherky, and it's beaten away by the goalkeeper Khalid Issa, diving to his right side. Man City were breaking forward there, but it's going to be a short corner. Gundogan will play it short, then comes to Ryan Ait Nouri. Nouri will give it to Phil Foden. Foden to Ait Nouri. Will deliver it in towards Haaland. It's headed away again, this time by Park. The ball goes all the way forward, which Labber will hunt. He's not going to get there. City have had 18 shots compared to Al Ain's 2, 8 on target compared to their 1. It has been an utterly dominant display from them, completely taking control for the majority of the contest. Here is Ilkay Gundogan. Rodri. Rodri with it. Trying to stick to the task. Ball goes to the right side with Niang. Niang with it. Across to Rabia. We'll have two players in the referee's box, not being the busiest of men. As the Algerian referee, Al Ain, breaking forward, the ball gets pulled back to the edge of the box, and a shot comes in from Eric, the Brazilian. He has just booted it over the goal, and I don't think that will necessarily impress Vladimir Ivic. The ball was just smashed over the bar. Now, once again, they can come forward. So, back with Ryan Aït-Nouri. Aït-Nouri with it. Nouri plays it across to Akanji. Akanji will give it to Ruben Diaz. Ruben Diaz will knock it forward. Ball will go out to the left side. Al Ain breaking forward with the ball now. Adis Yasic to Mohamed Abbas Al-Balouchi. There's Eric. Eric will look around for support. Mateo Sanabia is there. But they eventually lose it inside the Manchester City half. They never really looked threatening on the ball, so the ball will go back to Ortega, who can only hit it into Al Ain defender. Traore stepping forward, then smashes a shot, which just smashes against the face of Manuel Akanji. The referee will stop it to go and check on Akanji and also check on Ryan Aït-Nouri, who's sat down with potentially a muscle injury. He's helped up to his feet by Ruben Diaz, but the shot that came in just absolutely clattered off the face of Manuel Akanji. So the referee will just drop it with Akanji, and we're back in play with the final 7 minutes of normal time. Man City out on the right hand side. There is Eric. Ball nearly went out at the corner, but it's just about kept in play by Cherki. City coming forward again. It's Oscar Bob. Receives it from Rodri. Bob gets the shot away, and Bob somehow beats Khalid Issa at the near post. And Manchester City now lead 5-0, and it's the Norwegian winger Oscar Bob who has just slotted it into the back bottom corner, and Manchester City have sealed their spot in the knockout stages of the Club World Cup. It's Rodri with the assist, and it's Oscar Bob who has just caught out the goalkeeper Khalid Issa when it comes to his positioning. And it's really good work from the 21-year-old Oscar Bob, who has got a 5th goal for Man City here. He's wrong-footed the goalkeeper. He's whipped it past Khalid Issa. And Man City are now 5 goals up to the good here in the Club World Cup. Protests are continuing from Khalid Issa and his teammates. They're not happy with something. Looks like the goal will stand. Man City have got their 5th. Final 5 minutes now. So it's Erling Haaland. They'll move it out to the right side to Oscar Bob. Bob will get there to the right side. They 1-2 with Rodri. It's Ruben Diaz back out to Bob. There is the Norwegian. just about goes out of play and out for a goal kick for Al Ain. The ball will be returned. Oscar Bob's first goal of the season for the 21-year-old. The manager for Al Ain, Vladimir Ivic, sat back down into his chair, incredibly frustrated with what he's seen, clearly. Not happy, you can imagine. Ball goes forward again. It's one in the air. And it is the midfielder. Park tries to get there, and then there is a foul that goes in on Ryan Cherky, so Man City can take a quick free kick and move the ball forward. And it goes out to the right-hand side for Oscar Bob. He feels like he was fouled by Jasic, but the referee tells him to get back up onto his feet and play will continue. Turned into trouble is Jasic. Now it's Man City. Comes to Haaland on the edge of the 18-yard box, inside the D now. Park does really well with it. And then the ball will come back into a central position to Park. Park will move it out to the right side to Labo. Joe for Labo. There is Eric, who's on his back. As I said before, the fullback looks like a real live wire, and then he commits the foul, and it's a sarcastic applause in the direction of the referee. I'm surprised the referee hasn't taken umbrage with that and essentially booked him. Play will continue. Went all the way forward to Phil Foden, but he was unable to bring it down under his control. So it's going to be a goal kick for Khalid Issa to take. Issa will down to the left side. They eventually give it away. Man City inside the box now. Haaland will play a 1-2 with Ryan Cherky. And it's his first goal for Manchester City. It's a 6 for them. And it's Ryan Cherky who has got a 6. He came under for a bit of scrutiny for his performance in his debut against Wydad. Well, that is why he was signed, for quality on the ball like that. The ball was cheaply given away, and it was Haaland who just played a lovely 1-2 with Ryan Cherky, who has just sent it into the far corner. It's Manchester City who now lead 6 goals to 0 here. So now out on the right hand side. Manchester City's emphatic dominance of this game. They're in again. Erling Haaland for Phil Foden. That should have been a 7th. City should have added another one there. Really good, dangerous hold-up play by Erling Haaland. Laid it off for Phil Foden. It's a good save by the goalkeeper. It's going to be a corner to come in again. Delivered in all the way towards the penalty spot. It's eventually cleared away out to the right side. Now racing forward, it's number 19, Matteo Sanabia. We're going to find out how much additional time we've got left to play at the end of this second half. We've got 3 minutes left to play. Foden with it. Foden gets it back again in the middle of the 18-yard box, but he's unable to bring it down under his control. It's Manuel Akanji can move it out to the left side. To Foden inside again. It's Oscar Bob in the 18-yard box. There's a potential foul there. Is the ref going to give it? He isn't. City will continue. It's Foden who picks up the ball, gets a shot away. There's a couple of City players that surround the referee to say they can't believe that that's not been given. Of course, will be checked by VAR. Oscar Bob has got back up onto his feet and looks like he is very frustrated. And man who is frustrated, Vladimir Ivic. Probably putting up the worst performances of the Club World Cup, although albeit it's important to mention that there is a massive difference between playing in the English Premier League to playing in the United Arab of Emirates. And City are proving to be one of the teams of the tournament and a side that certainly will be looking to go all the way in this competition. The ball goes all the way back. Played forward. Kanji will switch it out to Ryan Aït-Nouri. Aït-Nouri will bring it down. Goes inside. Aït-Nouri pushing out to the left side. We've got less than a minute left played, but Aït-Nouri will pull it all the way across 6-yard box. Attacked again by Ryan Cherky and Erling Haaland on this occasion. Neither of those were able to get there. The ball was played across the 18-yard box. Just misses the men in the middle. Haaland will give it to Cherky. Cherky with the ball, but he takes a heavy touch now, and Al Ain are able to clear it away. And I don't expect there to be much long left now. We're into the 93rd minute. The referee's had a quick glance at his watch. Playing coming down to the right side. A spell in possession for them. The referee's going to allow them to continue. One ball goes forward and then it's going to be headed back in the direction of Ortega. Man City on the ball now. Once again, the referee will have a look at his watch, but play will continue. And eventually he blows the whistle and Manchester City lead and win 6-0 against Al Ain. They booked their spot in the knockout stages. It finishes here. Manchester City 6, Al Ain 0.
Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps, and more in-depth info on the match page.